My grandson's 7th birthday was 3 days away when my son-in-law told me I could attend for $4,000. He said it like it was normal. I went to my safe deposit box and pulled a folder I hadn't touched in years. On the birthday, he laughed at me, then he threw up in my driveway 20 minutes later. I'm 68. My only daughter, Sarah, married Bryce 9 years ago after her mom died. Bryce never called me dad. He called me by my first name, like I was just another resource. He figured out fast that I hated conflict, so he started coming to me with emergencies. The big one was the mortgage. Sarah called crying about foreclosure papers, so I drained the retirement account I'd built for decades and paid off their house. Bryce promised he'd make it right. He never paid me back a dime. So when he called and said, "We need to talk about your involvement with the boys," I already knew the tone. He claimed my visits disrupted their parenting. Then he dropped the number. "Going forward, your visits are formal, compensated. $4,000 per visit." I asked, "You want me to pay you to see my grandsons?" He answered, "Cash or check on Friday." And he added, "Sarah agrees." Like my daughter was a signature, not a person. What Bryce didn't know was that the mortgage payoff wasn't a gift. My old friend, an engineer turned lawyer, made me secure it as a private loan against their house. A lien, real signatures, real notary, filed with the county. They were supposed to pay quarterly. They never paid once. So I called my friend and said, "I'm done." He drew up a notice of default and a demand for full payment in 30 days. He told me, "Don't argue. Hand it over. Walk away." Friday came. I put my grandson's train set in the back seat. I put the folder on the passenger seat and drove over in silence. When I walked in, the boys hugged me hard. Sarah looked thin. Bryce looked smug. He slid over with that practiced smile. "You bring the money?" I told the boys to take their present to the kitchen with their mom. Then I said, "Bryce, step outside." He grinned wider, like he expected me to fold. In the driveway, beside his shiny car, he crossed his arms. "All right," he said. "Cash or check?" I handed him the folder. Page 1, smile. Page 2, tight smile. Page 3, no smile. Page 4, his hand started shaking. He flipped to the back and found his signature, the notary stamp, the filing. His voice went thin. "What the hell is this?" "It's the loan," I said. "142,000 plus interest, due in 30 days. He snapped loud enough for the house to hear, "This is fraud." I stayed still. "No," I said. "This is what you signed. You just didn't read it." Then he screamed for Sarah like she was a shield. Sarah came out and took the papers. She read slowly. Then she saw her own signature and froze. Bryce tried to charm his way out. "He's manipulating you," he said. Sarah didn't even look at him. She just said, "Be quiet." 2 words, clean, sharp. She looked at me and asked, "How much has he taken from you?" I told her the mortgage and the years of bleeding me dry. I watched her do the math. Then she turned back to him. "You told me it was a gift," she said. "You lied?" Again. Bryce stepped closer, soft voice on. "We can fix this. Family talks. We don't do court." Sarah lifted the folder between them. "Pack a bag," she said. "Go to your friend's place, now." Bryce puffed up. "You can't kick me out of my house." I raised the folder. "Technically," I said, "it's mine." That's when he broke. He bent over and threw up beside his car. Not anger, fear. He peeled out so fast he scraped the curb. Sarah sat down on the asphalt and covered her face. I sat beside her until she could breathe. Then she stood up and walked inside like someone waking up. That night, she brought the boys to my house. We ate cake at my kitchen table. They slept safe under my roof for the first time in years. In the months after, Bryce fought it and lost. The house reverted to me. I sold it and put the money into a trust for my grandsons. Bryce ended up on a friend's couch, sending angry texts and fake apologies. He missed soccer games and school events, then blamed everyone else. Sarah finalized the divorce and started laughing again. Now my oldest rides his bike to my place after school and drops his homework on my table like he owns it. The younger one still leans against my chest like he's checking that I'm real. And I don't feel guilty for drawing the line. Drop a comment and tell me how you'd handle a son-in-law like Bryce.